$1,000 a month for a living in a broom cupboard? Welcome to Hong Kong.
Welcome to the Future of Money. Today we're going to be talking about Hong Kong, the Hong Kong housing bubble and the protests. Let's start with the housing bubble. In the last 30 years, property prices have gone up tenfold in Hong Kong. Meanwhile, wages have only gone up 10% in the same period of time. So quite clearly, property prices have completely decoupled from wages. And this has caused a grotesque distortion in how Hong Kong society is shaping itself today. Let me give you a couple of real-world examples there. 1 in 10 married couples do not live together. They live in separate properties. Of those who do live together, 12% live with their parents. These distortions are created by hugely high property prices. And what it does is also it disenfranchises the younger generations. Property is the number one most important thing you're going to purchase. And if it's unaffordable, so many big decisions you cannot make. Or you can make them, but then you make them in such a way that it just makes your life a mess. You get married, you don't live with your spouse. That kind of thing. So, I believe this ties in with the protests. The protests were officially about the extradition bill, and that's true. However, that bill got repealed, and yet the protests still continue. That tells me that the younger generations, and the protesters are mainly young people, they are completely disenfranchised by the system. It's not working for them. It's not incentivizing them. And I feel like they're protesting to break the system. And that's the end game of all housing bubbles. It can't go on forever. And in fact, if you do try to force it and make it more and more unaffordable, eventually you just lose the will of the younger generations who are not on the property ladder. And you lose the will of the people who are on the property ladder because they have children, they have nephews and nieces. They are hurting too. And so I've read some articles that say, don't worry, the housing market in Hong Kong is unaffected by the protests. Well, I wonder for how long more that will be the case. Because, frankly, if you've got a small nation that's protesting so often, who wants to live there? And I feel like that's the goal of many protesters there. They want to shake up the system. They want to live in a country that gives them affordable housing, allows them to make all the big life plans in a sensible way, and get rid of all these horrible distortions that high property prices are impacting on society there. So watch out in Hong Kong. I feel like there will be a big change there, and I think that only protesting will affect that change. And we will see a wave of protests sweeping across the West as well, as house prices continue to completely decouple from wages. That's all for now. Please comment below if you've got experience, if you've protested in Hong Kong or just want to have a chat about it. Make your comments below. Many thanks.